ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live session of GETI Talk. My name is Shilpi, and I'm the Relationship Manager with the Global Education and Training Institute. Well, this is my first day in office, what we call the new normal. But then, will the schools will also get back to this new normal? It's hard to say because still we are in the phase of online teaching and what we call the disruptive education movement. Thank you, Dr. Ms. Amandeep Kaur. She's the principal of Saint Soldier Elite Convent School in Chitwanda, Devi, which is close to Amritsar. And she has been in the field of education for the past 14 years. She has also been awarded with the Innovative Leaders Award by Times of India and the university in that same place. Well, coming back to the topic, that is disruptive education movement. Thank you, Ms. Kaur, for being a part of the disruptive education movement started by Dr. Sunita Gandhi. Well, I also just read your thing that you have the topic Better Future of Disruptive Education. So before you go on to the topic, which I know you will be explaining it in detail, let me just tell my audience that disruptive education has a positive connotation. It's not a negative connotation as the word if you take disruptive. Disruptive education here, we mean to say that education has gone higher in the way by blending in technology and the traditional way of teaching. So disruptive education in the sense that we have just broken away from the traditional way of teaching to a new and innovative form of teaching and learning. So Ms. Kaur, over to you for the session. And
Okay, thank you so much, Shilpi. So I also want to thank Getty and Dr. Sunita Gandhi for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you all and share my research and my views on the disruptive education. So as Ms. Shilpi has already told, it's a really a good version that most of the time it is assumed that it is a breaking or it's some disruption, but it is not. It's the new way of teaching and learning. So it's a great initiative where we have a chance to discuss this type of education, which is the need of the hour. And we all are going through, we all are living this education right now. But today, what I am going to discuss with you, how we can improve and how we can go along with this type of education. So I'm thankful to this platform, which is making us learn more and more new things every day. So, ma'am, please start with the slides, please. So since last 7-8 months, all our trainees and trainers, we are online. Like we are doing the things on a one click. We are making PPTs. We are doing a lot of things. We are sharing screen. All of the teaching and the learning process has gone to a new phase where the traditional methods of teaching are lost, but still we are trying to push those traditional methods into the new form of education, which we really we need to change. So in this session, we'll be discussing about the brighter future, because at this time what I perceive, there is lot of information coming from everywhere. Like there are many mediums which are providing lot of information, and sometime in our minds we get that information fatigue. So in this era or in this time, we need to change our perspectives about that. We need to change that logging which is happening in our minds. We need to make it more skillful in a way, and the children as well as the teacher, that the information what we need creatively we can sort that information from the hub of our informations. So I'll be discussing upon that how it is better this type of education, and we should not discontinue this type of education even after this all crises are over. So, ma'am, please, first slide. I just want to go to this, shift to the next slide, please. Yeah. So, little introduction about the technology. In the platform where we are sitting right now, it is one of the form of technology where people from different areas of the country and outside the country. They are taking the knowledge each day. So journey of technology, telephone took 75 years to reach 1 million. It's a long period of time, where the Facebook took only 4 years to reach to 1 million people, and the WhatsApp took 1.5 year to reach 1 million. From this slide, you can well imagine that how the technology is uh, entering in our lives and how fast it's entering. And in this era in which we all are passing, like from the chalk and blackboards, we are jumped and sat, all of us sat in front of our laptops and mobiles to learn, because we all have a passion that learning should not stop. It should be any medium. It should be inside the class, it should be outside the class, from the laptop, from the TV, from the mobile, but the learning should not stop. And I salute all the educational barriers in the country, those who took this passion and learned the skills in no time. We really didn't had time to think and had and build the capacity buildings and trainings, but we suddenly took everything into our hands, and after 7 8 months we are quite skillful now. All the schools, they are having their Google suits and Zoom technologies, and they are imparting education. I think all the schools, all the education institution of the country bears a good applause. Next slide, please. Yes, please. Next slide. Yes. So the target of the online learning. So IT industries, they were targeting that the learners or the e-learners, they targeted, which was assessed to attain till 2050, that 80% of the learners should accompany with the e-learning. But fortunately, much of the target is attained in 2020 itself, because now many of the learning processes, they all are through the internet. So thanks to the disruptive education. Now you see there are a lot of things which are going through our life. We are in a transformational change. So, with this change, the question arises that are we ready to go back to our sacred classrooms, where we were the way we were teaching and learning before, or are we ready to accompany this type of education, disruptive education, and continue? So I think the future of the disruptive education is quite bright. How is it bright? So let us discuss. So it offers freedom and flexibility, freedom for the tutor and as well as for the trainee and the trainer both. They can adjust their timings accordingly. They can learn in the morning, they can learn in the evening, even at the night, whenever they feel like they can learn. No geographic barriers. So if I call about the geographic barriers, now I am from north, and many of the viewers might be from south, east, or west, or from different countries. So now there are no geographical barriers of saying your things and listening to the things. Learning and teaching is more easier. One, if prefers to learn from any good university outside the country, just can do the courses without having any geographic barriers, without getting visas and spending a lot of money. It is more flawless. Why is it flawless? Because it's more prepared. When you are teaching through such platforms, there are less chances of flaws. You are quite prepared for the things. The best thing is all the lectures are recorded. You can use those lectures wherever you want, whenever you want, according to your own convenience. So this is the best thing which we were not having in the classrooms. So the disruptive education has provided us this things that you can record the things and you can just learn it afterward whenever you get time. It is cheap than the larger than life fee structure of institutions. So this is the much talked about topic, that the fee and the fee structures and a lot of things. Uh, in coming days, when this type of learning will be more prevalent, the cost of the education is going to decrease. So, which is a good thing, which is really good, that the education should not be expensive, it should be pocket friendly, and it should be for everyone. More skill development. So since disruptive education is all about skill, the only person can impart the education through this type of medium which is skillful. So more skill development, it will cater to more skill development. The person who is going to teach should be well equipped with the new technology, how to make the presentations, how to deal with the problems coming in the way. So definitely, the individuals will be more skillful and more better. It is beneficiary for women. So most of the times, the women had to leave their jobs due to the family and the children. So now they are free to come back to their jobs whenever they feel like. So I think this is a boon. This is boon for the women. Now you see on the Facebook or on the Instagrams, there are a lot of people, those who are dealing with different type of things. Somebody who is good in cooking is teaching you cooking. Somebody good in baking is asking you to come and join and let's learn baking. The one who are good in handwriting, how to improve the handwriting of the child. So that are the things which, whatever skill you have, now you have a platform with very less investment. I must say, with a minimum investment you can gain maximum outputs. You can use it as a digital coach for different subjects, for life coaches. So the people, those who are dealing in such, those who are having such uh, skills, they can make their website and start as digital coaches and digital trainers. There are coachings for public speaking, confidence building. I now the whole of the internet is flooded with such type of trainings. Public speaking is there, personality development is there, handwriting improvement, and coding, and there are numerous amount of things which people are doing with such type of education. So new skill developers. So in this type of education, definitely the there will be a new skill developments. The people with good skills, they will develop good skill for them as well, but for the students or the learners, those who are learning. So definitely we'll be having much skilled persons around us. Next slide, please. Now the question is how to survive the learning environment. So the corona, in this phase, this corona is not going anywhere and we all have to live with this. And quickly we need to understand the tools for surviving our teaching and learning part of education. In such times, we need to focus on learning, either it is inside or outside. So the main agenda is the learning, because and we have proven it. All the teachers in the country have proven that we didn't stop the learning process. In no time, in 1st of April, we all were on online mediums and we started with the online learning, we started with the webinars, because we know that learning should not stop. 1 year of no learning in child life can cause disastrous problems in child's life. So we need to engage the students. The question is that why I am discussing this, that many times we had this idea that classroom, nothing can beat classroom. But adaptation is one thing that is important, and that is the better or finest quality of human mind. So learning is important in this point of time. It is no matter where it is being done and how it is being done. So we need to engage the students. We need to engage their skills. We need to engage in their skills, and we need to engage in the activities, so that they can learn the new things which they were about to learn in the school. They should learn in this time or in this age of their life. Self-taught learning should be promoted. Learning is important, and it is meaningless if it is not self-taught. And now the children are more of, they are learning every day from various sources. From the games, they are learning new words, new things. They are alpha generation, the generation of 2010. That is known as alpha generation. We are the contemporary generation. We learned what was asked us, what was asked to learn, what others asked to learn us, we learned that. But this generation is not like that. They learn by themselves, and they are more equipped with technology than us. Another is the blended education. So nowadays, in these times, we are starting with the classes of some classes. And I think it is a better way of the blended education, 3 days of schooling and 3 days of online classes. So such type of education can help to survive the learning process. Focus on 21st century skills. So we need to focus on the 21st century skills, because, and we all have given a good example of it. We have given the best example how to adapt, how to collaborate, and how to creatively learn, and how to solve the problem. Because in no time we were just switched from a very traditional teaching to such type of teaching, and all of us learned it so quickly that we practically used all these skills in our life. Learning should counsel the mental health of child and the teacher. In such times where the children are confined to their homes, it is really, really important uh, for their mental health, that the teaching should not be imposed. The learning should be in such a way that their game is a part of learning. It should not be that the questions are done and you need to cram it and then give the test of it. It should not be like that. Mental health is very important for the teacher as well as for the child. If teacher is quite healthy in mind, definitely the students are going to enjoy her teaching. So because in these times we are judged very badly. Sometimes we are not judged because of our concept, but just because of our pronunciations. So many traumas were there, but eventually that has gone. We are more prepared, we are more better, and we will learn more in coming days. Next slide, please. So what we are doing and what should be done actually. So you whether believe me or not, but we are trying to fit into the smaller shoe or the old shoe. We are grown up, but we are trying to fit into the older shoe. Reason being that though we are teaching online, we are into these platforms, but still we are uh, making the chapters, or we are teaching the chapters in the same way, just dictating or explaining the concept, then doing the question answers, then write it on your notebooks, and then you will be having your test, and then you will be assessed. But that is this This program is wonderful when you are in the class, when the students are in front of you and they are doing all the things. But now the scenario is entirely different. There is no child sitting in front of you. Everything is through a medium. So we need to change our tools. We have to shift our traditional methods to the new methods. We have to build new assessments. We have to build the new ways of teaching the concepts. So this is the thing that we really need to change, and it is the most difficult thing to change because there is always a discussion. Nothing can beat classroom. I agree, and I humbly agree to that, that nothing can beat classroom. But if there is no classroom, if somehow the situation is not allowing us to come to the classroom and do the teaching learning process, then what to do? We cannot stop learning. So we need to focus on the things that make the learning survive. Next slide, please. So it is said it is the strongest of species that survives, not the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change. I think we all human beings are quite adaptable to change because from the beginning, survival of fittest, that is the concept given by Darwin, and definitely we are surviving because we adapted the change. We adapted the social distancing, and we adapted wearing mask. We adapted more hygiene. So that's why we are surviving. And definitely the learning will survive if we adapt to the change, if we bend our minds that we are ready for the change. Next slide, please. Now, change is better, but what are the tools for such a change? What we need to do, what we are doing, and what we need to do. So, what tools we can use for that? Please, next slide. So our tools are project based learning. So now definitely we need to change those things, that these are the questions, you have to remember it and then you have to give test. That things we need to change. Now the learning should be project based, which uh, enhance the creativity, which enhance the skills of problem solving, right? And which cater the abilities of the child, which develop the better abilities of the child. Next, virtual group learning. So small groups could be made in this platform, in the disruptive platform or online platform, where they can do the group learning. They can be given any task and they are allowed to solve the problem together. Virtual field trips could be organized. So if we are giving training for some you know you want to do hands-on learning sort of thing or experiential learning, you can arrange a virtual field trip where we can discuss, for example, a visit to a factory, how the these chips are made, right? We can go to that virtual trip could be arranged, and questions can be asked in regard to that contest. So group discussions could be arranged. There are different platforms where they provide the groups. You can create the virtual groups and you can discuss the things. Next is a virtual reality. These are the new word things, where the children will attain the lifelong learning by learning through the virtual realities. Game based e-learning. So as I was already discussing that now you cannot impose, we cannot pressurize the child at this point of time. So the learning should be in such a way that the concept is learning in a very easy and in a very playway method. So game based learning is important. Problem based learning. So the things should be not in the question answer form, or in it could be question answers, but not in the form that this is the questions, 5 questions that you need to learn. No, it should be problem based learning. We need to give them the problem and then ask them to make a report out of it and discuss everything, the benefits, pros and cons of the problem, and submit the details. Augmented reality, these are the things which cater to the lifelong learning. In this type of learning, when a child sees something, for example an aeroplane just turning upon his head, moving upon his head, and then with the help of this augmented reality he enter into that aeroplane and see how what is there in the cockpit and how the passengers are sitting, and what is the air hostess is doing, and how the process is there. So definitely they are never going to forget this. So these virtual reality and augmented reality, these are the new word techniques for teaching. So artificial intelligence. So this is a much talked topic, and CBSE is also forcing upon to inculcate the artificial intelligence and learn the skills of the artificial intelligence amongst the students. So next slide, please. So open book test. Yes, this is the very very important thing that nowadays we as a principal were discussing someday, that we are conducting test online and everybody is attaining quite good marks. So that they are saying it's fine, because now at this point of time we just want that the children should not forget to write. At least they are writing, at least they are sitting in front of their PCs and giving tests. But I think this is not the end. It's really good that they are writing now. They should not forget the habit of writing and learning. But the best part is the open book test, the comprehensive tests. It should not included in only in the English, but in every subject there we can arrange open book test. So such test will enhance the concept learning, and the assessment is much more wiser at both the ends. So robotics, nowadays there are a lot of things which is being talked about the robotics and coding. These are the new skills of 21st century, which every parent want that their child should learn. And it's really good that we should learn all such things. Engaging the natural curiosity. So all these points which I discussed before, the most important is engaging the natural curiosity of the child. You cannot just make the teaching learning process in a way that where the natural curiosity of the child is lost. So this all will happen if you are able to channelize or initiate or ignite the natural curiosity of the child. So, dear, the world has long way to go before all lesson learned from COVID-19 nightmare. There's a long way to go. So I see miracles each day. I see classes and labs moved online, not just a record pace, but impossible pace. We are not only teaching online, we are performing practicals online as well. Virtual labs are generated. So we are moving in technology in the fastest speed, and I don't think after going so far, reaching the mountain so high, we cannot go back again to the same classroom of chalk and blackboard. So next slide, please. So what are the outcomes of this disruptive education after discussing a lot of things about the disruptive education? So the question is like, what is the outcome? Like learning is done in the classroom as well, why we need to go to the this disruption and learn it in this way? Definitely we need to, because the outcomes of disruptive education is much more larger. We create the new global citizens. So education is always changing and the people learn from their experiences. The actual learning happen through the experiences, and disruptive education help the individual to attain the experience globally. The one can learn any course from any university in the world, anywhere in the world. So you are giving them opportunity to learn anywhere from the globe. So definitely the outcome will be they will be not confined to certain country or a city. They will be the new global citizens. So quality enhanced multiple times. So the reason being that the one who is imparting the education through this online platform and the one who is taking the education, both should be enhanced. Both has to be much careful about the technology and the way they can come across to one another. So the quality automatically enhances the multiple times, because the well defined presentations would be made, and subject enrichment things materials could be generated with the topic or the concepts. Outreach from cities to the rural villages. Yes, I think gone are those days when it was said that this is the city school and it has all the qualities of having an internet facility, and we are teaching through the Google Meets and any other platforms. But I think now those boundaries are faded, because my school is in the rural belt of Amritsar. We are like 30 kilometers away from Amritsar. And I remember in 2011 when we started this school, we had a program, annual function program, where the girls and the boys danced together or performed together in some activity on stage. And there was a lot of chaos, there was a lot of questions in the mind of the people. But gradually in these years we are managed to inculcate a change, that this is the way the thing should move. And I very proudly say that, and I do not see any difference, that my students in that rural village, they are learning through the Google suite. We have taken the Google suite and they are making the assignment on the that platform, assignment platform, and submitting it through the mails, and the teachers are checking it and giving it back. So I have seen that those barriers are removed. I must say thanks to this period. Otherwise, it was the mindset of the people that city schools are much more privileged and much more facilitated than the rural schools. And I really appreciate the efforts, because we were making small tutorials for the children and the teachers, how to make a Gmail account, and how to put the assessment in it, and how to give the exams through online. But eventually what happened, the students start making their own tutorials and they start putting on the YouTubes. And now they have sent me a link. Many of the students, they are having the YouTube channels where they one of the student is teaching English concepts, one of the student is teaching the science concepts in that YouTube channel, and one of the girl, she is she is sharing her ideas, very beautiful ideas every day on the YouTube channels. So I think those barriers which we had in our mind of the city schools and rural belt and the urban belt, that has diminished. uh, I think there is some interruption. Shilpi ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. What happened? Okay, the PPT is not. 1 minute, please. Please continue talking, ma'am. I'll put it back.
All right. So I think that outreach of education system from cities to rural has been diminished, and the children, they have definitely attain the 21st century skills, because the human mind provides us the powerful tools for knowing our situation and acting accordingly. And we all have given this good beautiful example where we linked our problem and we collaborated and creatively, and we managed to deliver such things. So we all teachers has given a good example to all our students, where we used all the 21st century skills of critical thinking, of problem solving, collaborating, and creatively we are all performing well in these platforms. So global skilled human resources, we are providing more better human resources, those who are much more skilled, those who are good in problem solving, those who are very creative, and those who think out of the box. They have innovation in them. So this disruptive education also focus on the personalized learning, because the students learn according to their interest in such type of education. A person who is good, who is interested in a baking course, either he's a science student or either he's a commerce student, he can go online a very beautiful course of baking, or he can go a small course of public speaking, which will help that child in future life. Adaptive learning, all these forms of virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, robotics, coding, these are all the adaptive learnings, which definitely make the human life better in coming years. Promotion of research and technology. So since it's the vision of our prime minister to make India digital, right? So when all the citizens started using technology, so definitely there are more chances of research and technology. You see, before this COVID, there was nothing like that, where the companies are providing all the good stuff in one thing, that you can teach it there, teach it from the this online medium. You take the test, you take the assignments, and then you mark the attendance, then report will be sent to the parents. So these all things have given a chance for a good research and technology. So it depends upon the usage of the country, that how many citizens of the country are using technology. So social transformation, definitely, if there is a change in the attitude of human, so there will be a social transformation, and we are going through a phase of a social transformation. Global visibility. So once the child is open to this new world, the vision of the child is going to change tremendously. School, so the students can study online, and they are more skillful, they are more prepared for their life, and they learn the interests. They do not learn what they are given, they learn their interests. So there is a massive open online courses. So this is the university's program nowadays, MOOC, where they are giving ample amount of courses online, online English courses, online French courses, foreign language courses. Then there are many other courses where you can just uh, go it online and do your work. Next slide, ma'am. Enhance the work management. So we are entering in a phase where we need superhumans, I can say, which are more skillful and more confident. So definitely it will enhance in their work management. A person with a skill can work from 9 to 3, and then they can do their own job. They can teach, he or she can teach online any of the skill he or she knew, or do any other thing which he want to know, which he want to do, if he had a skill through this disruptive education. So multidisciplinary approach. uh, learning from the disruptive education, individual attain the multidisciplinary approach, where uh, he has more than one skill. He can be a very good teacher, a very good in a public speaker, or a very good chef as well, or he could be anything he had. He can just impart that education to the people. So mitigate the faculty shortage. So this is the biggest problem we all as institution face. Sometimes we have a shortage of a skilled faculty, and if we go with such type of education, one skillful or very highly skillful teacher can cater three or four institutions. He cannot limit his skills just to group of people, but he can give his skill or impart his skill to multiple people. So this is beneficiary for the students, for the teacher, and for the institutions. I think this is the biggest outcome of a disruptive education. Technological development of the country, so this we have discussed. If all the citizens they use much of the technology, definitely there is a great development of the country. There are, the best thing is about the freelancers. So people those who don't want to tie themselves to any of the institution or organization, they can start their business from their home just by creating a website and doing their work. So next is no age barriers for learning. Now, the one who has any disruption in his education in his life can start working or learning from any age. So there are no barriers for learning now. So this is the biggest achievement of disruptive education. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So moving away from the conventional pattern of teaching and learning process, the present age is witnessing a great shift in the way teachers are teaching and students are assimilating. So there is a great shift. So here is the stuff to remember. Two, here is the problem to solve. Now the commands of the teachers need to change. You cannot say the child, these are the five questions and you just learn it and I will listen to you. Now we need to ask them, here is the problem to solve. I have given you the problem and now you need to solve it. So that's all about my research about this disruptive education and my experience, which we all are going through. And I hope that this disruptive education will continue whenever we move back to our classrooms. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I was actually very intently listening to the entire talk that you gave, ma'am. And what I could understand, you've done a lot of research, which I appreciate definitely. And so there are certain questions that I'd like to put across to you, which is one of them is, do you really think, I mean, I know nothing is impossible, but yet you really feel that this um, technology? Is it disruptive education and this blended kind of learning that we are bringing in? Will it that be able to cater to a class which has got a large number of children in it?
Yeah, definitely it will. As I discussed in my slide as well, that we really have shortage of teachers sometime, and sometime we have large number of students. Not in schools. I'm not talking about schools only. In other institutions or organization. So one teacher can cater to number of students. I think definitely it will help in this class size issue as well.
Right. And the other thing I would like to ask you is that, coming to the transformation part. So, what kind of transformations do you think it is needed? Is it the attitude or something else?
Yeah, that's a very wonderful question you asked. That it's really difficult to break the mindset. Still now, though we are imparting education through these platforms, but sometimes we see the teachers, नहीं नहीं वो बात नहीं बन रही है, या or we can say, we can the parents ask us, मैम नहीं नहीं अभी नहीं, ऐसे नहीं, classroom ही better है. We know we need to change that, bend of mind. We need to change that attitude. So adaptation is the best thing for survival. So I think we have attained much in this platform, and we should continue with this. This is a golden opportunity for all of us to come up with such type of education system.
Right. My last question to you would be that you know it is like is it more beneficial for the pre-primary, primary, or is it that this can only be used for the senior classes?
See, it is beneficiary for the higher classes because the foundation classes need mother touch. They need more care. But when you don't have choice, then you cannot deny that this is a boon for all of us. The
Right.
learning has sustained because of these type of platforms, and we must thank technology for this.
Right. So what I can conclude for the entire thing is that it is really nothing so difficult to overcome even the problems and whatever little glitches that we are facing. And with that, I would like to come to an end to this talk show with a little thought that I read somewhere. I believe you are such a dynamic person. You were the president of also the youth affairs at DAV College where you have studied botany. So I believe you will love this thought as a leader. Doubt sees the obstacles, faith sees the way. Doubt sees the darkest night, faith sees the day. Doubt dares to take a step, faith soars on high. Doubt questions who believes, faith answers I.
Very nice, very wonderful, good.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kaur, and we'll definitely look forward to having another session with you quite soon. Thank you for being
Sure,
there.
sure.
Thank you, audience, for being there.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.